Hello, bar takers. I'm Lisa Duncanson, your bar exam guru. I'm here today to give you some updates on our upcoming free exam workshops and also wish you all the best if you're waiting for results for the February 22 bar exam. As you well know, they come out on Friday, May 6th at 6 p.m. So wishing everyone the best of luck. If you are taking the July bar exam as a first-time taker, a repeat taker, or an attorney taker, these upcoming free workshops are definitely for you. One of the things I am really passionate about is helping people through the bar exam. I'm just really passionate about that, and I only hire people who are also really passionate about that. So our team is so committed to this, and so one of the things that I always do, is I provide free workshops because not everybody can afford another bar exam course, and not everybody is prepared to do that. So we want to give as much help as we can for free. So we have two upcoming workshops. One is on Wednesday evening, that is on May 11th, and it starts at 6:30 and ends at 9:30. We will cover, well, I'll talk about that in a moment. The next date, if you're not available on an evening, is going to be Saturday, May 14th, and that will be held from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. These events are both live. I will be teaching both, and they'll be over Zoom. So if you want to sign up, go to, actually I'll have it posted in the video once this is live. You can also find it on the Bar Exam Guru blog, which is barexamguru.com. That's barexamguru.com, and it should be posted soon on our course website, which is barnunreview.com. But to sign up right away, go to barexamguru.com or look at the link below this video. By the way, please like and subscribe this video. I would like you to subscribe to the channel because we'll have many more videos coming out as the bar season progresses, okay? So again, all the best of luck to those of you who are waiting for results from February 2022. If for some reason you get results that are not pleasant and you did not pass, please don't give up. Please don't lose hope. There's definitely hope. And this is not an IQ test, so don't internalize it that way. I know everyone who takes the bar exam studies their tail off. I mean, there's nobody who invests that kind of money and then just decides to blow it off. I've never seen that. At least not the students that I've worked with who are repeat bar examiners, and they come to our program after, 1 or 2 tries or 3 tries or 5 tries. I mean, it's again, not an IQ test. It's just a test that's difficult. And one of the reasons why it's difficult is because courses are not adequately preparing examinees, and they just aren't. I mean, look at the pass rates. One of the courses out there says that they have a 90% pass rate, which is odd because they're a national provider who has more students in California than any other provider. So you probably know who I'm talking about. And they claim that they have a 90% pass rate. But how come the bar pass rate for February is often 38 to 42%? So I don't own the bar pass rate. We don't have 3,000 people signing up for our course. We're a boutique bar prep company. I specialize in personal attention, personal growth for the student, and make sure that their writing is up to par and better than is needed for the bar exam, and make sure that they're on track for the MBEs if you have to take those. Obviously, when we have attorney takers, they don't usually have to take those. So it's a very personalized program. But I'm not here today to sell that. I'm here today to show you that there are options for you, and that if you did not succeed on this most recent bar exam or any prior bar exam, you should know that you probably didn't have the best opportunity because it isn't given out. It isn't, the information that is on the essays that's in the released answers is absolutely in everybody's long outline. The trouble is, reading through those does not highlight what you need to know. It doesn't tell you, hey, by the way, this has to be on every time you have a wills exam, you have to talk about this. And I don't just mean wills formation. I mean things like transmutation in community property, for example. It also comes up in wills too, because we see a lot of community property wills essays. But let's say that you have a wills essay, we'll go with that, and you have an issue with a charitable trust. Did you know that you have to bring up rule against perpetuities? You don't have to define it, you don't have to even understand it, but you have to know the difference between a charitable trust, which the rule against perpetuities does not apply to because the trust goes on and on for perpetuity, and the difference between that and a private trust where the rule against perpetuities would apply. Are you going to have to do a mechanical application of that? No. But whenever you have a charitable trust on a wills exam or a trust exam, but usually it's wills trust, you will have to bring up the distinction that rule against perpetuity applies to private trusts. So it won't apply here to this charitable trust, but should it ever change from a charitable trust, which is for the public good, public use type of thing, and become a private trust, the rule against perpetuities would apply. So let's say the trust goes on for 50 years. They don't do this, they don't test this part, but just so you understand it better. Say it goes on for more than 90 years and it becomes a private trust at that point, then the rule against perpetuities applies. You're never going to have to do that work. Okay, all you have to do is, if you have a charitable trust, bring in that note that every released answer has. Every released answer. Why? Because the bar examiners embrace answers that have the issues and the points made that they are looking for. Are they perfect? No. But they're perfect if you want to pass the bar exam. And I know that you do. This is a unique thing to California. And, you know, it's one of the reasons people struggle because, oh, sure, they covered rule against perpetuities in property, and they think it's only on the MBEs. And it doesn't come up on any essay except for in the context of a charitable trust. So if you don't know that, are you going to fail? Not necessarily, but if you know that and you bring it to their attention that you know that, it's stellar. You know, they know that you know that inside information. And every subject has gazillions of those, okay? If you're looking at negligence essay and you're thinking, oh, it's duty, breach, causation, damages, you're going to know those elements till the day you die. You're never going to forget that. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near enough to write a passing essay for the California bar examiners because duty breaks out into at least 4 things, even 5, depending on whether you have a special duty at stake. So, at issue. So duty is not just standard of care, it's to whom it's owed. It requires a discussion of the Palsgraf case. It requires an analysis of the majority rule, which is the Cardozo rule, which has 2 elements that you have to prove, which is it applies, the duty is owed to foreseeable plaintiffs, that's one aspect, and those within the zone of danger. So that seems odd because you know that you have to address both aspects, but it's required, and it'll seem weird to write it because it'll be, let's say it's the bus case where the driver of the bus falls asleep, crashes the bus, and a plaintiff who's on the bus, Pat, is injured when the bus crashes. So Pat, because Pat is on the bus, is a foreseeable plaintiff since Pat was on the bus when it crashed. Pat is also within the zone of danger because Pat was in the bus, on the bus, when it crashed. So they're not going to really test foreseeability. They rarely ever test that on the essays. In fact, I can't even think of a torts essay that did. So that's the other thing that's different about the essays from what you learn in law school and what's reinforced in most bar prep companies, which is that foreseeability is a big issue, and it's just not. It's only an issue on the MBEs. And here's why. Despite the difficulty and challenge of passing the California bar exam, it's a beast, right? I mean, no one can say anything different. Pass or fail is a beast. So the difference between that is it's a standardized test. Law school, sure, they'll give you the situation where the plaintiff is suing because their leg was amputated after they were involved in a car accident, after the ambulance picked them up, the cart rolled out, the gurney rolled out, they were hit by another car, and then when they got to the hospital, the doctor made a mistake and amputated the wrong leg, so now the person has no legs. Okay, that's, all of those intervening acts that happened along the way in this chain. You're never going to see that on an essay on the California bar. I promise you that. Why can I promise you that? Because the California bar essays have to be standardized. And if you think about it, a correct answer could say, well, the first car accident is what started the whole chain of events. And then another correct answer could say, I think it lies with, all the liability lies with the doctor. The doctor's the one, she amputated the leg and she was negligent. And so that's where it's going to stop. So there's this gradient. And that's something that a court would decide, a jury would decide. And it's something they love to test in law school. But it's not how the California bar is tested at all. It's not how torts is tested. And so that's just one subject within a whole topic of torts. And you can just imagine, I hope you can, how many little nuances there are that you have to address in order to get a 70, a 75, or even an 80. And, that is very doable if you know what you're doing. And it's not, I don't know the law, I didn't study or memorize enough. No, that's not why people fail. People fail because they don't know what they're supposed to write. And that stinks. Because I know what you're supposed to write, and I learned it for myself. My bar course didn't tell me what to write. I found myself in a lot of trouble 2 weeks before the bar exam in 1994. When I took it right out of law school, and I realized, wow, I don't know the issues. I know the rules. I could quote and, tell you the whole outline for wills, but I did not pick up when dependent relative revocation was tested. What brings that up? How is that? When does that become an issue? Where on the essay should that be addressed? How do I know? So I figured out within just enough time, a couple of weeks before the bar exam, that I needed a lot of help. So I started looking at the released questions and released answers, and I was shocked because so many things that were in those answers, both answer A and answer B, were not in my model answers. No, they weren't perfect, but they were spot on with the issues, and I learned so much. And in those 2 weeks, I read over 100 essays and reviewed them, which, I had full time to do that. Most of my students don't. Even first-time takers are typically working these days. So that's why you need to get started as soon as possible. So if you're taking the February bar, if you've just taken the February bar and you don't succeed, you need to get over that as quickly as you can. And there's a lot of advice on the blog that's free. There's past posts about what to do next if you failed. And I hate the word fail because this is not an IQ test. It's a standardized test. And I hope that makes sense to you. I will certainly make sure that it does when we have our free workshops. We have 2 coming up. The first one is Wednesday, May 11th, and it will be from 6:30 to 9:30. We conduct it over Zoom, so you can attend it from wherever you are. The second one is on the Saturday morning, Saturday, May 14th. And that is from 9:30 to 12:30. I will take questions, but I typically do it after the session. You can also ask questions on the Zoom, but I still won't do it until after the session because, not everybody wants to hear everyone's questions. If you can't get a question addressed after the class, you can always email me, and I promise I'll get back to you as soon as possible. These workshops are both called How to Pass the California Bar Exam workshop. It's free. I urge you to attend if you're taking it as a first-time taker, a repeat taker, an attorney taker, because everyone taking the written portion of the bar exam needs this information. And we will address some things about the MBE. We do that towards the end because some people already know they have great scores with that, or they just don't feel like they want that information, or they're an attorney taker who doesn't have to take the MBEs. So we always do that at the end. We should have time to address some things about the performance test, but the writing of the essays is the most important thing, because while the PT is worth 2 essays, you're not going to write a good PT if you can't write good essays. It just won't come together. I rarely see someone, when they fail, have exemplary perfect scores on the PT. and then bomb the essays. So writing is very similar for the PT, but obviously there's a process to get to the goal or to actually know what to write. And so we focus on that as well. But most of our time will be about how to study, what to study, how to improve your essay scores big time, and how to write for the California Bar Examiners. So it's really important. Please like and subscribe to this channel, like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you do that, you'll get all the updates that we provide, and they're free. If you want to check out a few videos that I think would be very helpful for this upcoming bar exam in July, take a look at the First Amendment speech approach video. It's about 40 minutes long. It's free. Obviously, it's on my YouTube channel, and it's a really clear and clean approach, and a lot of people just don't know it. So please watch that video because it'll cover our approach that we go over in our classes, and you'll get a better sense of where you need to be, because this is an approach just for First Amendment speech. We've seen a lot of First Amendment issues tested, but it's pretty much been limited to religion, so Establishment Clause and free exercise. And by the way, if you have one, you have both. So if you have a free exercise claim, you have to also address Establishment Clause, and you may also have a substantive due process issue as well. So these are things you want to go into the bar exam knowing and understanding. And one of the things that I heard somewhere is that you need to choose commitment over convenience. And I think that is so true of the bar exam. This was something I heard at a business conference I attended. But choose commitment over convenience. And I have to do that every single day, because as much as I love doing what I'm doing and how passionate I am about helping people, especially with the bar exam, I mean, this is my life. This is what I do. I went to law school to teach. I looked at taking a teaching program, and I thought it takes about the same amount of time. It's less expensive than law school, but I also just really wanted to learn the law. I loved it. I always loved it. So, but my goal was always to teach, and I was fortunate enough to get a job teaching right away out of law school, and I loved it. And from there, I started helping our graduates. No, those birds are nice, aren't they? Can you hear them? I can. Our graduates with the bar exam, and we set up a program, and I got to run it, and I loved it, and I did that for a couple of years, and then I decided to go out on my own and do my own private course, and I've been doing that since, I'm teaching bar prep since 2005. That's a long time. Anyway, I've learned so much from working with students over the years, and it's just been a joy. But choose commitment over convenience. That means financial inconvenience. That means time inconvenience. That's the biggest part, right? Whether you buy into another course or not isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is that you give yourself the time that you need, and that you know where you're going and you know how to get there. Those are the most important things. So with that, I'm going to close this video. Again, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you do that, you'll have access to all the videos that are up and coming, and you'll get a little notification. We don't spam anybody. It's just what YouTube does. They send, there's a new video, and you can check it out. Thanks for coming to see this video today, and hope to see you in the future on YouTube.